Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the market close. We're almost there. We're almost there. This has been a fantastic month. We do have a green day today, so I'm kind of thinking we got a chance for a green roll right into Christmas. So we may see that Santa Claus rally getting off to at least off to a little bit of a start. It's not a big green day, but nonetheless, there is some green in there for sure. And right off the bat, we got Lance joining the channel membership. So welcome, welcome to the channel membership. And gifting yourself a membership counts. It counts, and that pretty much means that you're our first goat of the day, greatest of all time. So we got room in that corral for more, that's for sure. If we get four, either channel memberships, gifted memberships, supers, whatever, we throw on another market close tomorrow. So that's fantastic. That's part of the Financial Express. So if we do that, we throw that on. If we go to the fifth, then we get to see the dancing goat, and the dancing goat makes me laugh. So that's always fun as well. But we're one fourth of the way to a show tomorrow. All right. Okay, let's see here. First of all, I'm going to bring this up. So guys, this here is one of these other benefits of being a channel member. So you get this, you get a channel member super. It doesn't count towards any of the goals, but it does count towards getting my attention. So, yeah, so in this case here, Paul says waiting 3 to 4 days for RRSP to RRIF conversion. Nice, nice. You gotta love that. You gotta love that for sure. So, all right, now we'll pull this away. Let's get into the charts. That's our thing. That's our thing for sure. Helps if I bring up the chart. We got the TSX. We do have a green day. Right now it is currently 0.78% to the green side. We are having a very strong month. So when you look at that blue line down there, well, that blue line represents where we ended November. So if we're above that blue line, we're in green territory. And of course, if we're below it, we're in red territory. But because of the holidays, if we're above it, I'm saying that the market is on the nice list. If it's below it, it's on the naughty list. So for the most part, Canada has been on the nice list this year. Santa is liking the Canadians 100%. So we're doing pretty good. It's absolutely hard to imagine us getting below that blue line at this point. We got a shortened week this week because we got today, tomorrow, and half of Wednesday, and then the market's closed until next week, and it'll be interesting to see. Now, obviously, we still have that week we have to deal with. Maybe it can pull the market down. I'm hoping not. I'd like to see some calmness in the market for the rest of the year, and I'd like to see a nice Santa Claus rally set itself up. I'm looking to see all-time highs for the end of this year, and I'll tell you, even though we're not at our all-time high, we were at our all-time high a little earlier today. The TSX has an opportunity to finish 2025 at 30% or better, at 30% return on investment. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. I want that 30%. Now that I know that we're really close. I think today at one point we were at 29%. Let's hit 30%. I want to see it. The TSX has been absolutely kicking. Well, this person's butt right here, the S&P 500. Now, they are in the green. They're above their blue line. Not by much. Not by much. They had a good day today. They're up 0.60%. Tech, for the most part, has been having a pretty good day as well. So that has kind of helped a little bit. And you might not know that when you look at the NASDAQ, because the NASDAQ right now, it's only up 0.45% in the green. And they're hugging the blue line. So they're kind of hard to call, because right now they're under the blue line right now. They're under the line. So we'll have to see where the NASDAQ goes. Our industrials, they're up a little bit, up 0.48%, well above that blue line. And the little stocks, also up 0.61%. Though, in the second half of today, they've been putting up some serious red candles as they have been coming down. So let's hope that's not a trend going into the rest of the week for the Russell. Now, part of the reason Canada is having a good day today is, well, look at this. Gold. Gold is up again, 2.25%. And you got silver as well, up 2.53%. Copper up 0.36%. But commodities overall have been doing well, and that is certainly helping to bolster the Canadian market. Although, what's going on here with copper? They're on a candle right now that's pulled them down a little bit. But let's see what happens. We'll see what happens. Oil is also up today, up 2.91%. So WTI, looking good, looking good. Crypto, not so much. Bitcoin is down a little bit, as well as Ethereum. And we'll see that when we get to the heat map. Speaking of the heat maps, let's pull this on in. I'm just going to refresh this because I didn't refresh it before the show, just to make sure we got current data. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. We got a lot of green in the middle. Of course, energy looking good. CNQ, Canadian Natural Resources, up 1.11%. Cenovus up. Imperial Oil up. Tourmaline up. Suncor, all of them, they're doing good. The only little exception is, who is this? Let me see here. SC, we'll pull it up. Strathcona. So Strathcona Resources is down 0.44. Okay, I just wanted to see who that was. In the past, I used to be able to just highlight it and it would give me a little pop-up box so I could see who it was, but not anymore. Not anymore. It gives me a pop-up box, but it just gives me the ticker. It doesn't actually tell me the name of the company. So there are companies I don't have every ticker memorized. I will point that out. All right. There's a little ad. Banks are doing mostly okay. Our Royal Bank is up a little bit. TD is down, well, TD's down 0.04. So you can say TD is flat. BMO down a tiny bit, 0.13 down, while BNS, Scotiabank up 0.39. So I would say mostly flat on the banks today. But nonetheless, overall, the market not looking too shabby. Switching to the United States, and here we come. We can see a little bit of strength in technology. So we got NVIDIA up 1.38, Google up 0.86, Microsoft down a tiny bit, Apple really lagging today, down a whole 1.08%. We got some other interesting ones as well. So Tesla's up 1.43, but also we're seeing Eli Lilly up a little bit, Johnson & Johnson as well up a little bit. So not a bad day. Not a bad day for the U.S. market overall. And, oh boy, crypto. So crypto, it's kind of a flat day, really. Look at this. Bitcoin at this point right now, 0.00. So that's pretty flat. XRP down a little bit. Solana down a little bit. So we're going to call it a red day at this point. It is tradition here. I like to pick on an altcoin. We just like to pick a random altcoin. We're going to do it. Let's pick, let's grab this one here. I don't know what it is. All right, we'll pull it up. It's, we've just entered the invest zone, guys. Don't know what this is. Is it financial? Or did they just pick this as a name to try to get people to buy them? I don't know. I I'm always very dubious on a lot of these little coins. So there's more than 15,000 altcoins out there. This is one of them. It's worth basically 0.02 of a penny. It's not worth much. I would be worried. I would be worried about this one. To me, it's, I don't know. Even the image of the little guy with the red red banded. There we go. I'd be a little bit worried with that. This is one zone I don't want to invest in. So be careful with these. I call them crap coins because they're like going to the casino, throwing the dice at the craps table and coming up, losing, coming up without winning. That's kind of where a lot of these are. You can run into everything from rug pulls to just some pretty shaky fundamentals for sure. If you are interested in something like InvestZone, definitely make sure you've read the white paper, make sure you understand what it does, and make sure it makes sense to you. Because honestly, if you want to make money in crypto, well, there are the big coins. Your big coins are your safer bets. Of course, if my scroll worked, this would be a lot easier. There we go. All right, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. I was scrolling in the wrong direction. So stick to your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, your XRPs, Solana, Cardano. Heck, even the Dogecoin is a safer bet. All right, guys, we got about 3.5 minutes to the bell. Let's come back. Let's come back to big, and let's hit the chat. Let's hit the chat. We got Jonathan in first with, am I late for a green 2026? Nope, you're not late yet. Claude says, hello. Scrooge McDuck approves of this day. Yeah, I think for the most part, most people are not losing money today. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing for sure. Zenio says, relatively flat, boring day, no Santa rally yet. Yeah, I can smell it. I can smell it though, Zenio. Let's hope. Let's hope we start to see it. Now, technically, guys, the Santa rally doesn't technically begin, until next week. It's kind of one of those funny things. Like, it's basically your last few days of December, first few days of January, but I'm feeling like I'm feeling the presence. I'm feeling the Santa power already. Paul is here with a good afternoon. Niece is in the house with a good afternoon. Always good to see you, niece. Stan says, hello all. All right. Scott, goodly afternoonish to one and all. Rory's got bah humbug. All right. Bought EIT today. I know, and you've been talking about it, so you did it. You did it. Awesome, awesome. I know today, 60 dividends. My 60 dividends came in. I was happy about that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Lance says, all right, love watching your videos. Keep them coming. What's your opinion of the ETF CWW? I'm optimistic for it long term. Let's take a gander. Let's pull up CWW. Okay, we'll have to get to the right screen first. All right, CWW, here we go. So this is an interesting one. So a lot of times you don't think about water when you're thinking about investing, but in the future, water is going to be huge. One thing about Canada is we actually hold a crap load, like a ton of fresh water. So it is going to be a big resource in the future. Now, let's pull this up here. This ETF, they have been moving in the right direction in the last 3 years. I mean, gosh, look at this. This is a nice trend to the upside. And just to give you an idea here, all right, so they're basically replicating the performance of the S&P Global Water Index. So Yeah, so these will be water-related companies, whether they be, um, and I honestly, I couldn't, you know what? I actually kind of been curious to know what companies are in here. I got to take a look. Oh, guys, we have 8 seconds to the bell. I almost got distracted. Lance, you almost made me miss the bell. All right, here we go, guys. The market, the market's closed. Another day done. All right, let's take a gander here. I'm curious now. I'm curious. I've never really looked too deeply into this one. So CWW ETF. Let's put it up here. iShares. All right, here we go. So I'm just pulling up our, there we go. Let's see here. Let's see what we got. So let's say we got Compagnie de Salamenti. Oh gosh, guys, I am terrible at pronouncing foreign words. I'm going to tell you this right up front. But yeah, let's see. We've got well, we got a utility company. We got Xylem, American Water Works, Veralto, United Utilities, Severn Trent, Essential. So mostly utilities. It looks like. So this is kind of interesting. So this is kind of a play. It's kind of like a subset of the utility sector, and I love the utility sector. So I do like this company. I like this company. Now, mind you, I will tell you guys right now, this here is going to be your dividend growth ETF. So you can take a look here. Their yield 1.219%. So you're not gonna get a lot of income out of it. But I mean, this is not bad. I mean, look at this, and just the last 3 years, you've gone from 47 to 64. So this is a nice little steady grower. And I want to go into that back end again. Return on equity, 15.60%. I like that. I'd like it better if it was above 20, because you guys know I really love to see that ROE above 20 in companies. It doesn't look like right now they've got nothing listed in their debt to equity. So I'm going to, most times they have that listed that way. It means that they don't have any debt. And that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, it is an ETF though, too. Keep in mind. Keep in mind, we are looking at an ETF. So they really shouldn't have any debt. So anyway, I do like this one. I do like this one. It is a solid ETF for sure. All right, let's jump back to Big Me. Paul, including today, there is 7 business days left in the year with a couple short days. Note if you are converting RRSP to RRIF, start sooner than December 18th like I did. Yeah, so that's one of those big things, guys. If you are trying to do anything that needs to be done before the end of the year, you want to give yourself a much time. So tax loss harvesting is another great example. So one of the good things is we used to be a T+3, but now we're T+1. So now it takes basically 1 extra business day after you've closed a trade for it to settle. That's good, and I'm hoping eventually to see a T+0. But always keep in mind, like if you make a trade on the 31st, now the 31st, I don't even know what day the 31st is. I think it's a Thursday. Is that a Thursday? So yeah, if you make a trade on the 31st, it's not going to settle in time for 2025. So you want to always keep that in mind. Now, technically with a T+1, if you made a trade on the 30th, you should be okay. But I'll tell you, for me, that would be nervousness. I don't, if I wanted to do any tax loss harvesting, I would do it bare minimum before the 29th. In fact, I would have it done already, just to be on that safe side. Dorpat says hi, all. I'm almost feeling FOMO for not getting into gold and silver. Should I pivot? Great question. That definitely a great question. So when you're looking at stuff right now, especially gold, silver, it's all-time highs. It keeps going up. And there'll be 2 opinions. There are investors who are sitting back saying, okay, we're just waiting for the shoe to drop. It's got to come down. It's got to come down. Well, It doesn't. Well, I mean, let's be honest, it can continue to go for a while. And here's that thing. I think right now, as when you look at the commodities in general, first of all, when you look at gold, gold has that special case of when investors get nervous, they'll move into gold. They'll move into gold for safety. And I know there's some of you out there that's saying, well, they should do that to Bitcoin. That's what Bitcoin is for. Well, Bitcoin's not there yet. Bitcoin's not there yet. So I wouldn't see Bitcoin as a as sort of a reserve during the rough times. Right now, gold still is. Gold is that hedge. Gold is that hedge against pretty much everything. So there is gold, and that's kind of that situation. But at the same time, gold is used in a lot of circuit boards. Silver is used. Silver is actually used quite a bit in solar panels. Copper is used in everything. And, and as I said, I said that, we are expected to have a copper shortage by 2030. Although, according to, I believe it was JP Morgan, we had somebody point that out yesterday, that copper shortage could be here as early as, well, 2026. So that's all. You can almost say this year if we jump ahead a week or so. But yeah, so we are on the verge of a copper shortage. Copper could very well spike. And with all of that, with all of this need for these critical minerals, and the fact that there's so much, like even if you look, like even in the news last week, we had Carney and Ford talking about getting that road in shape that goes into the Ring of Fire so that they can start getting some movement up there because, they want to harvest those critical minerals. They want to sell those critical minerals. So right now, I think critical minerals are going to be big. They're probably going to be big through 2026. All right, with that being said, does that mean you should sit on the sidelines? It doesn't necessarily. I mean, you obviously have to look at your own risk profile, but if you were looking at it and you're like, gosh, it has to drop sometime, and sure, it will drop sometime, but here is the reality. If you started dollar cost averaging into minerals, gold, silver, copper, and it drops, well, it will come back. It's going to come back up. If anything, it would just mean that you all of a sudden have the opportunity to average yourself down a little bit. So I think that, we're not going to see a situation where gold drops down and stays down for the rest of gold's life. Of course not. It's going to keep on coming back up. It would recover. And right now, nobody's expecting to see a big retracement in that sector, except for perhaps a handful of YouTubers who want to tell you the sky is falling all the time. I think gold is safe. I think copper is safe. I think silver is safe. I think commodities, materials, I think that's a safe sector. So yeah, but like I said, if you want to be safe, dollar cost average, or, if it makes you nervous, even though I think it's going to be safe, if it makes you nervous, there are other things you can invest in too at the same time. So I kind of look at it this way. If investing in something that makes you nervous is going to cause you to lose sleep because you're going to be worried about it, you probably shouldn't be investing in it. Even if you're wrong, you shouldn't be investing in it because, invest in the stuff that you do understand, the stuff that you do have high conviction in. That's always, it makes your life a lot easier. So, don't give in to FOMO unless it makes sense to you and to your conviction. Paul, Tesla had a high of 498.83, but now 488.42. So couldn't take advantage of the high, is not supposed to trade during the 3 to 4 business days for the conversion. That must be hard, Paul. It's like, no, I can't trade until it's done. Guys, Mary is in the house. Mary is our official captain of that like button. So if you have come in and just put up your feet and relaxed, didn't hit that like button on the way in, well, now's the time. So be sure to do that because Mary watches them, and you don't want Mary later in the show coming out going, There's 70 of you here and there's only 20 likes. Oh boy, that you don't want that. You don't want that. And guys, while you're busy hitting that like button, I get to have some coffee. So that's my favorite part for sure. Oh, so good. Cowboy is in the house with a greetings all. Rusty says, made a mistake yesterday. MCAN is the company that offers 2% drip discount. Ticker is MKP. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, I mean, you were talking a little bit about that yesterday. MCAN looked interesting, but you're saying it's MKP. Let's take a look at MKP. All right. All right, here we go. It's still MCAN, but we just weren't looking at the right ticker, I think. All right. All right. Oh, yeah, this one here seems to have a bit more. Yeah, this one has a bit more history. The one that we were looking at yesterday, quite literally, it looked like it was brand new. It looked like it was pretty new. But yeah, this is definitely a much bigger history. There's let's go 3 years. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got a pretty big history here. What is the dividend? 41-cent dividend quarterly. All right, perfect. So yeah, one of the things that we were talking about yesterday was drips. And some companies, now I see this more in the US than Canada. This is probably the only the only company that I have heard of in Canada right now that offers you a discount. So what that is that if you do a drip with them, you can get, when you're rebuying the shares as your dividend comes out, you get a tiny discount. I don't know what the discount is on this. Rusty, maybe if you know, I drop that in. But that's kind of a neat thing. And I was saying that if all companies offered a little discount, I would be more inclined to drip back into them. That's for sure. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So that's MCAN Mortgage Corporation. And says, hi all, just pulled out of Poet, taking a 46% return. I was aiming for the moon on a long hold, but happy to cash in nonetheless. Yeah, let's just pull up Poet. Let's pull up Poet. Here we go. All right, so Poet is Poet Technologies. And here we go. Let's get out of here. Ooh, so this is a little bit of a jump here. So I'm assuming that's what you basically took some profits from. Yeah, I'm taking a look at this here, and yeah, this is to me when I'm swing trading. This is one of the things that I like. If I get something like this, I love to buy in here, sell up here, buy in here, sell up here. So sometimes I do find some great opportunities in here. Although I will say, most of the time, I swing on companies that, companies that have really solid fundamentals. So today, and I'll also mention as well, the channel members get to see the swings. But today I did do a swing on Tesla. So I'd gotten in on Tesla. Actually, Friday morning, I get in on Tesla. Let's pull this up. Let's actually come over here for a moment. And I'm going to go to this one here. This is the CDR. This is the CDR. So there we go. Yeah. So Friday morning. So down in here, I got into Tesla, rode it up this morning, and got out up in here. I got up around, I can't remember the exact price, but it was up in this area. Basically, it was about an $890 profit in this little swing on Tesla. So it's not a bad thing to do. It's not a bad thing to do. So, but I like it because if I get in on Tesla, like let's say, for example, if I got in here and Tesla does this, I just wait because I know they're eventually coming back and doing this. So that's one of the beautiful things with Tesla. And I don't know if I have, I actually have, some of my things in here where I sort of chart what it's doing, and it gives me an idea. Tesla loves to get into these channels. Now, right now, I wouldn't say this is a straight channel, but let's actually pull out a couple of lines and take a look here and see what we got. We almost got a channel coming on here. I'm not super confident with this one because I'd like to, oh, actually, well, maybe if I comment about here, that could be interesting. That could be, while they're in an uptrend. Now, mind you, an uptrend channel tends to be a little bit less stable than when I've got something that's more straight. When I've got a straight channel like this, where they're just coming up and down, they do tend to last longer before they break out. So this one here, we got a situation where, yeah, this could very well be. They could very well come back down, retest down around 42. Now this here, mind you, this is the CDR. It could come back down, and it's following this. I'm just going into Tesla. This is the real Tesla CDR. You can see, look, no difference. No difference at all, guys. That's why CDRs are good. They give you an opportunity if you're a swing trader. And I know, guys, I know a lot of you aren't swing traders, and that is probably for the better. But I will say this, that they give you that opportunity to get in and make trades at lesser price. Because obviously here, I'm playing, you're playing with $43 opposed to $488. So you got to put a lot more money into the real Tesla. You got to put a lot more money into the real Tesla to make a swing, where you can do it with the CDR with a lot less money. So that's one of the reasons, one of the things I love about CDRs for sure. But anyway, yeah, there's what's going on with Tesla. Rory says HYLD cracked the $15 mark today. Oh, did they? Oh, let's take a gander. So you guys all know I do love myself a little bit of HYLD. So this is our Hamilton Enhanced U.S. Covered Call ETF. And look at this. Yeah, 1506. They had a pretty good year, guys. They had a pretty good year. So this year, ever since Liberation Day, they've been on a nice soft movement to the upside. I like it. I like it quite a bit. And they are in the positive on the year as well. So that's not too shabby. So they actually entered the year. First day of trading this year was January 2nd. So right there, they actually opened at 1387. So 1387 on the year, and they're up at 1506. So not too bad, not too bad. And keep in mind, you're getting some good dividends with HYLD as well. And they did recently, they removed some of their fixed income ETF, so the bond stuff, and replaced them with some of the Daymax. So we could see some interesting moves. They did boost the dividend as well. So this could be interesting for sure. All right. Claude says, London Gold. They did a bonus dividend, was not on the site, but I received 2 dividends from them. Nice. I did not look. But yeah, let's see if it's actually showing up here now. So one of the other things I love about London, oh my God, look at this. London Gold up 5.95% today. That's, actually, it's kind of funny. I want to take a look at something here really quickly. Before I pull up London Gold, I just want to quickly see how they're doing in the challenge right now. So right now, in the 0 to 100K challenge, guys, London Gold is sitting at 133.81%. That's amazing. And that doesn't even, I haven't even added in the dividends yet to the spreadsheet. So, but all right, let's take a gander at their dividends here today. Yeah, we're just seeing the one here, but apparently, apparently they paid 2. They paid twice. I wonder if Yahoo Finance is on the ball for this one. Let's just take a quick look. London Gold. Here we go. London.st. No, I'm looking for TO. LUG.TO. Here we go. There we go. London Gold, and we'll head on over to the statistics. Sorry, historical data. And dividends. Let's go dividends only. Yeah, they're just showing. Oh, actually, look at this. They're showing a single dividend, but this looks to be this looks to me like they have both of them here. They just added them together. So in total, between the two dividends from London Gold, Claude, you probably received 1.129. So $1.12.9. So not too shabby. They are showing it here, but you'll notice here they added it together in September. They've been doing that. So yeah, London Gold, bonus dividend again today. That is awesome. That is awesome. I love London Gold. All right, Rusty says dividend is over 7%. Okay, fair enough. Nothing wrong with a bonus div. I know, I do love my bonus divs. Cowboy, let's see, you bought some Utes, some Oily, and some LFE. Nice. And Paul says Harvest announced a distribution today for MSTR. Yes, they did. Let me see if I can pull that up. Just give me 1 second here. Harvest. All right. Let's bring that over. Oh, we'll download the external images. And let's make sure. Here we go. Yeah, you guys can see it. All right, so this is every month. This is one of the things, guys. Whenever you are on any of these sites, you can subscribe, and they'll actually send you stuff like this. This actually shows, I'm going to make this a little bigger, their distribution. So we can see here, you know, HHIS, HHIH, they're all here. MSTE, oh gosh. But they're all here. They will send this out to you regularly, as well as any information about brand new ETFs, which is pretty cool. So sometimes you'll get that firsthand knowledge. I like that. Yeah. Oh, what's the first? Oh, I guess this is taking me to their site. I clicked on the full distribution table. Oh, here we are. So yeah, here if you want to look at all of their ETFs. Wow. So definitely a lot. MSTE going to a 20-cent distribution. Yes, that we saw. And let me just, you know, because I cannot remember what it was before that. So if we go in here to MSTE, and hopefully they've got it already updated in here. Whoops, let's go to key data. Yeah, oh boy, look at that. They've dropped from 35 cents to 20 cents. The pain continues. Oh, guys, if you are investing in MSTE and you're just waiting it out, this is another kick. This is rubbing salt in the wound a little bit, but it's not unexpected, but it sucks. It absolutely sucks for sure. Paul, Harvest TSLY staying at 25. Cowboy, if someone told me as a teen I would buy a bottle of water, I would have had them committed. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I mean, I buy bubbly. I mean, but that's carbonated water and it's got flavors, so you know. But I don't know. I don't think I would really buy. When I can just get it out of the tap, run it through the Brita filter. Yeah, I don't think I would buy one. I don't think I would at all. All right, and guys, of course, we have the Financial Express going on. We do have one so far, so 3 more, and we'll get a show for tomorrow. So far, guys, we have not missed a show. All right. Ooh. I had an idea today. Let's just, I'll go big screen for the idea. So I said that if we hit a certain goal with the Financial Express, I would just open up January on the last day, and you guys could take as many days as you want. All right, that's cool. I'm going to throw another idea out there. If we hit every day in December, you know, we're not that far away. We could just keep the Financial Express going until we miss a day. That kind of sounds like fun. So, you know, we'll see how far into the year we can go. That's just, That's what I think. I mean, obviously, if we miss a day before the end of the month, then it's already dead. But I'm I'm willing to keep it going as long as you guys want to keep it going. So I could, you could keep me busy as long as you want. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like it. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. We'll do that. All right. Luke says, Happy winter solstice, everyone. Yes, we are now officially in winter. So, up there in the north, they're not going to see the sun for a while. But the rest of us, oh boy, what can I say? Go on a tangent to almost forget the bill. Not this time. Nope. I'm paying attention. This is my chance to redeem myself and stay on that bell. Well, Mary called me out. Mary doesn't just call you out on the like button. She calls me out on the bell. So I got to be very, very careful because I don't want to disappoint Mary. Paul says, what is Gary Gill's next video about? I have no idea. I have no idea at all. I don't know. Does anybody know what Gary Gill is doing next? I don't know if Gary's here. Gary, if you're in the background, what's your next video? I've seen him in here a few times, but, I don't know if he's lurking or not. Rory says, we used to get water from a pump jack. Well, as a kid, town had no running water in Saskatchewan. Oh, I've seen those on TV. I've never actually used one of them pump jacks. So it's kind of cool, but at the same time, although I will say, when I was a kid, my aunt, she lived in Cape Breton, a little town called Descousse. And the few times I actually went to visit, because I didn't like going out to Cape Breton. I was happy staying with my grandparents. But one of the few times I went there, one of the things I didn't like about my aunt's place is she had an outhouse, an actual outhouse, and I'm not a fan of outhouses. I'll just say that much. Scott says, when I was a kid, drinking water came from a garden hose during the summer. Yeah, I did that. I mean, I think all kids, well, not kids today, but I think all kids in the older generations have done that. Rory says, I don't even watch Gary anymore. Cowboy, I hope Gary isn't carrying his MSTE in the TFSA. That's a huge loss of room. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Luke, I'm following Timber Creek. This looks like a good entry point. Are they in trouble with their loan book? Have they been hurt by condo crisis? All right, so Timber Creek Financial, so they're an MIC. So that's a management investment company. And yeah, they've taken it quite hard lately. But let's just pull them up here for a second here. I've always loved this company. I've held them multiple times. Now, I did roll out of them recently in the challenge, and basically I just wanted to consolidate into RMAX, so at least I was getting some income while REITs and MIC is not a REIT, but they're kind of in that same vein. They're sort of in that same vein. So we'll pull up Timber Creek Financial. And you can see they're down again, but at the same time, I want to actually pull up the 5 years on Timber Creek Financial, maybe the 10-year even. All right, so this is that level up here. Basically from about 850 to about 950. That's typically where they normally live. And ever since we had the aggressive rate hikes and there's been a lot of other issues in real estate, they have not been able to get back up there. I think eventually they will get back up there, but it could be a long haul. So when you're asking, is this a good place to get in? It's not a bad place. It's not a bad place. I mean, they still have a pretty good dividend. We're looking at a 10% yield right now because their price is down. I think it's fairly stable. They're not a company that I think of as one I worry about when it comes to their dividend. So yeah, I do like them. If you are looking to get more into them, this is not a bad place for sure. All right, now I do I do spy something. I do spy something here. We got a super sticker from Mary, and that, guys, one. That brings out our second goat. So Mary is now a goat as well, and the corral is half full. We're halfway towards the show tomorrow. Thank you very much, Mary. This is always fantastic. So we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. And as fast as I said that, as fast as I celebrated the wonderful Mary, in comes Jonathan with a $2 super sticker. All aboard the Financial Express. We are one away. Now, we are one away. And of course, that brings out another of our goat little videos. So that corral is almost full. There's always room for more, though. That's for sure. All right. Whew. All right. Now, now to get back to where we were. All right. Let's see here. Where the heck? This is the good question. Let's see here. Sometimes I lose my spot when I go into there we go. Here we are. We were on Luke, so now we're over to Paul. All right. When gold and silver goes straight up, do not chase. Mean reversion will bite you when people take profits at the top. There's always going to be anything that moves up. There is, I like to call them psychological levels. So for example, I love to use Bitcoin for this. So when Bitcoin hits even numbers, like, for example, if it's coming up, if it hits 90,000, 90,000 is one of those psychological levels where people will say, okay, I'm going to take profits. Then 100,000, huge psychological level where people will take profits, 110, 120. So a lot of those things are places where people will take profits. So a lot of times you'll see when it goes up to the first time it'll hit 90K, you'll usually see a bit of a drop and then it will punch back up through it if it's, if we're on an upward trend. And that will work for a lot of different, a lot of different commodities. So with gold, it might just be as simple as we're hitting an all-time high. Yeah, there's going to be some people who take profits for sure. But on the overarching thing right now, gold is expected to continue to go up. So I'm not super worried about it. Now, why? With Bitcoin, it's actually more of an interesting thing now that we talked about Bitcoin for a moment, because a lot of times, knowing that there's a psychological level. So, okay, let's, you know what? Let's pull up the whiteboard for this one. I like the white. Oh, by the way, there's the next video, guys, in case you were curious. All right, let's head over to the whiteboard. There we go. All right, so if we have a psychological level, I just need this is not going to be a complicated drawing, guys. This is going to be really easy, but I'm just going to create, I'm going to attempt to create a line. So let's say that's 100K. We'll just call it 100. Well, sometimes the bulls, they know what's going to happen. They know that if they hit there, there's going to be a little bit of buying pressure, so people will take some profits. So, sorry, not the bulls, the whales. The whales, duh. So if you're a whale, well, this is what I personally would do. If I was a whale, I would be taking my profits rate about here. I'll take them just before that 100K, only because if this is going to happen, I don't want to, I don't want to attempt to take profits right at the top and end up missing it because of the other whales. So I might actually take profits in here. So this thing may come up like that, and then it might hit it like that a little bit if you've got enough people who are doing it. But the beautiful thing is that it will typically, come back up and punch through it afterwards, depending on how many profits are taking and what type of momentum. If Bitcoin has a lot of momentum and it's going to really punch through it, whales may not. They might wait for the next level. So they might, for example, wait for the 110. Or, maybe if there's a lot of momentum, they might even wait for that 120. Whoops. Let's try to do that straight. That's like 120 in the twilight zone. It's a roundabout way to get a number line. But It really depends. Yeah, it really depends. But these psychological levels, it is levels where people will take profits. Now, sometimes if 100K is a psychological level, and let's say it was the top, like the all-time high, you know what? Let's not even use 100K. We'll just say 100. Let's say it got to 150K. Bitcoin has never hit 150K. So if it hit to 150K, that would be a massive psychological level. So if we got there, the whales are going to sell. I'll just put a little whale in here. Oh, we'll make it into a fish. There we go. The whales are going to sell. That downward pressure will start to scare the retail investors. So then the retail investors might sell as well. We'll put AIL. So then retail may sell, and that can push that price down even further. We'll have to see, you know, that moment. I'm not saying that that's going to push it into like into a crypto winter or anything, but it will cause a little bit of a drop, and then, you know, once it steadies out, it'll come back up at that point. You know, unless we actually do go into a crypto winter, because that can always happen, but probably not so much in this case here. All right, now I did just notice something. I noticed something. All right. Oh boy, guys. First of all, we've got Bismarcky in with a channel membership. Thank you, Bismarcky. That is number 4. And another goat in the corral. Now, there's a bonus goat, guys. There's a bonus goat. And, well, Doorpat has triggered the bonus goat with a super sticker saying, let's keep that express running smoothly. We got to number 5. That means, oh boy, it's time. Oh God, I love this. Oh my gosh. That's just hilarious. I can't get enough. I can't get enough of that goat. That's just, I'm going to have to make another funny one for after Christmas because I love that goat. I love that goat a lot. A lot. Oh boy. What can I say? All right. Oh boy. Now, here's the fun. Here is the fun part. Let's see here. All right, let's see here. All right. Cowboy says, I dropped TF as its returns are shown as interest payment, and I held it in a non-registered. Yes. So TF, and this is another similarity to a REIT. Now, a REIT's 100% taxable. It's not that it's interest. It's just, it's the way the REITs are structured. But TF as a mortgage investment company, they are classified as interest payments. So they're 100% taxable. So if you are holding TF, you want to be holding them in a non-registered. It's not tax efficient. It's not tax efficient at all. Larry says gold 4,400. Sheesh. Yeah, I know gold has been awesome. Sold half of my DJT to the suckers at the top. Oh boy, what's going on with that, Larry? What's going on with that? And of course, some of the Trump stuff has been picking up some steam over some news. Oh boy, what can we say? Scott says gold is fiery ring. I like gold. I like gold for sure. More talk of Carney, still no activity. At least Charlie Brown's teacher made an interesting noise. Oh boy, Cowboy, you are too hard. You're too hard on him. Larry says, I feel like you missed the boat on gold and silver at this point. You're not going to get 500%. Well, that's a good point. So even though I've been talking about gold, and I've been talking about the fact that we've had some incredible returns on gold, the reality is in 2026, we're not going to get that same level. It's still going up, but it's not going up as much as it did in 2025. It'll be, the slope will be not as steep for sure. Not as steep for sure. Brian is in the house with a good afternoon. Paul, last time I held MSTE, sold at $13.49, August 19th. Last time I held MSTR, sold at $298.40, September 25th for 11% loss. They kept going down after. Yeah, that's not good. HBTE stays at 43 cents. I can't find HHIS though. We had it here a moment ago. Let me see. Give me a second here. Oh, nope, that is not, and that's not it either. Those are scripts, guys. Those are scripts, in case you're curious. I actually meant to click on this. All right, HHIS, it was here. 27 cents. So HHIS, 27 cents. So, yep. We have that one. We have that one for sure. All right. Paul says, oh my, MSTR is 164.58, MSTE 493. I know. Even when I did the cheese video, it was at $5, so it's still falling. It is still following. Falling. I don't want MSTE following me. MKP dividend is over 7%, and they give a 2% drip discount. Nice. Yeah, that's once again, that's that MCAT one that we were looking at. That's a really good. I mean, 2% discount. I mean, you know, that's kind of a big thing. That adds up. That adds up for sure. Mayor, I'm having trouble distinguishing substance versus hype with all the precious metals. I'm officially lost at these all-time highs. Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, it's kind of that thing. Like, this is, I guess the way I'm looking at it is if they were just a store of value. So if the precious metals didn't have another use outside of being a store of value, I would be concerned. I would be concerned for sure. The one saving grace for me is that they're being used in, well, all of these critical electrical systems that are needed for everything from AI data centers to pretty much everything technology that we have. So that does, for me, provide a little bit of reassurance. So, you know, I can see a usage ahead forward plan for them, and that works for me. But yeah, I can understand why it can be you know, especially with something like gold. I mean, all that glitters, right? I can understand that. All right, Brian, I did a few little buys today with my OAS and dividends, 6160, 13 CPCC, 3 oily, and 1 QQQI. Nice. Let's see. Small gains today, according to Brian. Happy holidays, Candace. Congrats on your swing. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. It's always good to have a half-decent swing. Cowboy, nice to see HBTE gained a bit today. Get that portfolio bigger. Oh, and there's the Nightbot. Guys, I got to turn off that Nightbot. We have a show tomorrow. We've got a show tomorrow. Oh, and guys, on Wednesday, we're starting the show at 12:30. 12:30 Eastern, because the market closes at 1. So I thought we would start a little early. You know, it's like, let's just start a little early. All right. Paul says almost anything bought at Liberation Day has done well. I would definitely agree with that. Gotta love orange clown events. Somebody needs to make a picture of Donald Trump as Pennywise. I would be interested in seeing that. I don't know why, but I would. Cowboy made a bunch around Liberation Day. Move a TFSA from banks to Wealthsimple at that time. MSTE div will be a nickel soon. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a big drop. From 35 cents to, was it 20? Was it 20 cents? I think it was, yeah. Yeah, 20 cents. That's a big drop. That is a big drop. Patricia is here listening in. Hi, Patricia. How are you? Hope you're having wonderful holidays. Larry says, check out the MSTR 2X MSTU was 100, considering splits in August, now $9. Okay, interesting. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I understand what Michael Saylor is doing. I understand his plan. I understand the logic of his plan. But at the same time, it's not an easy position, I think, for investors to be in, especially holding those bags. It's a tough place. And you know what? There will probably be people who will make a lot of money in this, but I'll tell you, it's it's not an easy hold. It's not an easy hold at all. Paul says, as a kid, we drank out of the garden hose. We usually let it run a bit first. Probably a good idea. Yeah, for sure. Gotta miss one before the May long weekend. Can't interfere with my fishing. Oh, well, yeah, you can't, you can't interfere with the fish. That's for sure. Sure, why not? I'll watch every day. There we go. Rory says that town pump in Saskatchewan had two meanings. Wish I had better baiting lures for stocks. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see. My dad called the town Dodge. As a kid, I couldn't figure out where the Dodge City was. All right. Plenty of dog create condos for sale on the GTA. People are leaving deposits to escape them. Oh, boy. Let's see. Brian says there are 40,000 condos unsold for sale in GTA. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of people that they just can't sell them. It's a little bit of a it's not a condo market for sure. I don't know. I personally, I don't know if I'd want to buy a condo, but that's just me. So yeah, that's a 15-year supply at normal sales rates. Don't look for prices to rise for quite some time. I know several trades laid off because of it. Not sure what Calgary's condo market is like. I have no idea. I have no idea at all. But yeah, that's possible. Gary Gill did a video 2 days ago with YouTuber Dividend Guy from Dividend Stocks Rock. Okay. I might have saw the thumbnail. I don't think I actually watched the video. Well, I know I didn't watch the video, but Larry says gold to 69.42. Eventually, I could see that. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Larry, USD or CAD for that gold price? I imagine Larry's talking USD. I mean, Larry lives in Texas, guys. All right. America. There we go. People are still buying in Calgary. Nothing extreme, but still an active market for now. Plenty of oil companies moving their head offices south. I mean, Calgary's a great city, guys. One of the nice things about Calgary is you're so central to everything. Like, quite literally, when I lived in Calgary, it was amazing. Like, in an hour, you could be in the mountains, or you could be in the Badlands, or you could be, well, you could be anywhere. I mean, Calgary is so versatile that way. Also, the nice thing, of course, is in the winter, you get them Chinook breaks, which is always welcome to have a minus 30 day turn into a plus 5, like in less than an hour. So that's one of the good things about Calgary for sure. There are condos in Calgary. Where do you keep your horses? Oh boy. I think the only time I've ever seen horses in Calgary was during the Stampede when I was there. Rory says, I know Shell, Scott Field in Fort Saskatchewan, you had to get paperwork from Houston, Texas. Well, actually, Calgary, I think Houston is considered Calgary's sister city. I think I heard something of that effect. Horse is too expensive to maintain, too old to be buckled or to be bucked off now. Okay. Luke says, I miss Mr. Math. Yes, I know. Mr. Math was retired. But yeah, it's okay to miss him. Rory says, my banks want to discuss my old mutual funds I left in the dust. Apparently, the 8-year date is due. Should I cash out or roll them over? Well, well, a lot of mutual funds have really high fees. If they have high fees, I would definitely cash them out and maybe move that money into your into some ETFs or something. That's what I would do. Um, HHIS 27. Let's see. Scott says I'd say cash out the mutual funds and put the money in the indexes. Yeah, exactly what exactly what Scott said. Let's see, ridiculous. Oh, management expense ratio at 5 to 7%. Yeah, I mean, you even look at a really complicated ETF that's doing like leverage and covered calls. They're nowhere near 5 to 7%. Cowboy, I loathe mutuals. They win, you lose. Yeah, mutuals are just way too much. Rory says, yeah, I started them in 2017, let it alone in 2019 when I figured out how much they profit. Over in the Discord, JJ says all in on MSTE. That is not a move I would recommend, guys. I would not recommend that. Yeah, no. I mean, with MST being as low as it is, if you want to play it and see what happens on the other side of all of this, don't go in much. Don't go in much. I mean, it just to me it's too risky. It's just too risky. Rory, it was a way to save 30% on taxes by buying into the funds. All in on MSTE is like putting everything on a number at the roulette table in Vegas. Yeah, and even then you might have a better chance in Vegas. Cowboy got a form letter from my mutual crew in 2008. Basically said, sucks to be you, I lost, they did not. Yikes. Yeah, the MSTE distribution down to 20 cents. Yeah, oh boy. Sailor probably has a long answer, short position on it, a long and short position on it. Maybe, maybe. Larry, is your avatar a Skeezix? What's a Skeezix? I don't even know what a Skeezix is. Condo equal mortgage and rent payments. Horrible idea. Doug Ford just texted me to wish me a Merry Christmas. I'm honored. Nice. Roku, you've got friends in high places. A premier. Love it. Well, I mean, Doug Ford is the one that says he gives his number to people all the time so that they can call him or whatever. He's never given it to me. Like I would, heck, I'd call him and say, hey, you want to come on the show? Bismarcky, coworker is trying to buy a condo in Toronto, offered asking price and was turned down, wanted another 10K. Yikes. Renewed says, hi Candace and holy banana bread people, happy holidays. I know, it's time. It's that time of year. I love this time of year. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's see, Scott. Yes, my favorite, Sketzel the Chamberlain. Okay, all right. I still don't know what it is, but what can I say? All right, we got a QQQ coming in from Roku. ChatGPT says, as per forecasters, that the TSX will again outperform the S&P 500 in 2026. I'm thinking to reduce my VFV and buy a bit more XAW and a lot more VCN. Thoughts? If you had told me this at the beginning of 2025, I would have been very skeptical. I would have been like, okay, sure, yeah, maybe, but probably not. That's how I would have been. After a year of the TSX absolutely decimating, not really. I mean, technically, if you look at the S&P 500, I mean, being up 17% a year, that's actually really good. But yeah, outperforming the S&P 500 this year has been really, really interesting. And can they repeat it in 2026? Maybe they can. I'm more optimistic for Canada. Now, one of the areas, like there's different areas. Like, I know a lot of people are like going on about trade with the US, but you got to also look behind the scenes. Canada has been opening up more and more trade with Asia, with Europe. I mean, we're willing to trade with everybody pretty much, and that has really helped. Between that and of course also the prices of gold and minerals, and I do see them as continuing to increase in 2026 as well. So there is the stimulus there. I think the groundwork is there. That ChatGPT might very well be right on this. So, would I completely reduce my position in VFV? I don't know if I would or not, but um, I might increase my positioning in Canada for sure. Yeah, and you can always reduce it a little bit. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I think Canada will still be strong. I think we're going to have a good year. And it's kind of interesting, like, and I've been thinking a lot because I have to do my prediction video in early January. And one of the things I've been saying this year is that, all right, I was wrong about a recession this year because I had predicted one for this year. But it'll probably be next year. I'm not 100% sure right now that I'm going to predict a recession in 2026. I think it's going to get kicked down. I think it might get kicked into 2027 at this point. So, yeah, you know what? I think ChatGPT might be right. And that's a strange thing to say in this situation. But yeah, the chatbot might actually be onto something, Roku. Let's see, MSTE is just like gambling. In Vegas, you get free drinks. Well, gambling at least. Yeah, Vegas, you get, you do. Candace is from the dark. The Dark Crystal. Yeah, that's one of the, like, I'm a geek. I love geeky stuff, but that's one of the few franchises that I haven't seen. I'm like, it's come back to bite me. Now, was David Bowie in that? I'm not sure if he was or not. I think David Bowie was in Labyrinth, but anyway. Paul says Blocks does selling credit plus spreads as part of their strategy. What is this? Something about no capped upside? All right, Blocks does selling credit put spreads as part of their strategy. What is the... I'm not sure. I'd have to actually take a look and see what Blocks is doing. I haven't yet. Like, I mean, they are a US. I have not looked at them. I will just say that. So I don't have enough information to really answer that question, Paul. Let's see. Scott says, I was messing around on the Evolve site and saw Bond. Is it a good hold keep for passive income? I see NAV diving, but is it because of rates? So Bond. Oh boy. It's not James Bond. Let me pull it up. Let's pull. Actually, here. Let me just close a couple of windows here, so that way there I can actually see what these windows are. All right, good old Bond. So yeah, I mean, Evolve has a lot of ones. So this, of course, as the name says, this is a bond, basically a bond fund. I will say, I'm not big on bonds. I am really not big on bonds. I think bonds were something that people used to use a lot more than they do now. So I have a feeling, like, I don't know. Bonds is just one of those things that I do not invest in them. I don't like them. But all right, so looking at that, this here is this is a fund that has been, well, I wouldn't call this a successful fund. I mean, look at this. They are just, it's like a ski slope if it were only flatter. But yeah, they're not doing well. They're not doing well. Now, this does have a half decent dividend, but you're looking at 13.073%. Okay, monthly dividend 19 cents a share. However, if you look at it, well, they were launched up here around 20. So that yield is probably, when they launched it, it was probably closer to 12%, somewhere in that vicinity. But yeah, this is one that I don't like. And I've always mentioned this, that, and I know that bonds tend to have a little bit of an inverse relationship to stocks and things like that. And so, yeah, with the markets doing really well, you would expect this movement. And that's true. That is true. But at the same time, I just, I would love to be able to have the data from a bear market that we could look at here. We really don't, because the last bear market, we were already out of the last bear market by the time this one started. So I would be a little cautious with a fund like this. I'm just not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of bonds. All right, Tom says, I see IVN jumped up another 6.26% today. Yes. IVN. Yeah, and it's funny. I got out way too soon on my IVNs, on my last IVN swing, and I'm still looking at it. I'm like, gosh, wish I had rode that a bit higher. But yeah, IVN has been doing fantastic, guys. Let's pull it up. So this here, Ivanhoe's, they do mining, gold and copper. All right, and yeah, here we are. So they've been doing, they had a little bit of a down spurt, but they have been once again doing pretty good again. They're up pretty high. One of the reasons I do like this company too is I also like they do have a bit of volatility, and that tends to make it a little bit better for me if I want to do a swing trade on them. But here's the thing, with copper potentially going into a shortage, that's not bad for IVN. So that, I may not have that opportunity to swing them the way that I used to, because that could certainly change. But yeah, I do love this company. What do you think of Rocket Lab? RKLB. All right, let's head over to Rocket Lab. Here we go, Rocket Lab Corporation. And they're up a good almost 10% today, almost 10%. So yeah, look at this. They've absolutely, they've taken off. They've taken off. We'll call it that. Lift off. They're doing fantastic today. They've gone up quite a bit. So 77.55. And just to pull up some information here. So they basically, Rocket Lab, what do you think they do? A lot of rocket stuff, right? So they provide launch services, spacecraft payloads, and satellite components. So they've some of their clients, of course, are governments. There's quite a bit of stuff that they do. So I certainly like them. I think space is going to be big, and their only danger, I guess, with a company like Rocket Lab is if SpaceX comes in and steals a contract from them, like MDA had happen. But no, I do like them. I think they're a solid company. Looking at their back end, this is the one concern I have, is they have a negative return on equity. So, what's going on there, I don't know. I have to look a little bit deeper, but they don't have a ton of debt. They're 40% debt to equity. But once again, this is the one thing on Rocket Lab that does make me pause, is that negative return on equity. So what is going on there? What is causing that? And let me just take one gander here at one more little thing. Yeah, so obviously they're not reporting an EPS. That's because it's probably negative. So they are losing money. But what's going on? And mind you, it may not, this massive growth that they've experienced, depending on when that last quarterly came out, it may not be reflecting that in the numbers. So I'd be interested to see new numbers, to see see if that's changed at all. All right, John, do you have or know a good Canadian dividend grower stocks? All right, John, are you asking about like a grower? Like, are you looking for a? Let me just see here. I can take this two ways. I can take it that you're looking for a good stock that's into growers, like people who grow marijuana or something like that. But you might also just be looking at Canadian dividends. So what I would recommend is, obviously, if you're looking for companies that have consistent dividend growth, there are the dividend aristocrats. So the dividend aristocrats, those are companies that have increased. So to become, first of all, to become a dividend aristocrat, you need to have increased your dividend for 5 years in a row. And there's actually another group within the dividend aristocrats. Those are the dividend kings. For the dividend kings, you have to have increased your dividend for 50 years in a row. That's a hard thing to do. There's a lot of them in the States, but in Canada, we have two, Canadian Utilities and Fortis. So yeah, so like you take a company like Fortis, and let's pull up Fortis. So this is a utility company. They're based out of St. John's, Newfoundland. They have, well, they service everywhere, but here, let's pull up just the last year. They've been on a pretty big increase over the last year. So obviously, when you look at their yield, it doesn't look that impressive, 3.652. But you got to consider you're getting a good amount of growth with these guys as well. So they have actually done pretty darn good this year. Well, look, they've gone from $60 to $70. That's not too shabby. So this is not a bad company. Now, if you're thinking of just the Canadian aristocrats, there's, of course, well, we do have an aristocrat. Let me see here. Here we are, CDZ. So this here is a aristocrats ETF, if you want to look that way. So this here, basically, it invests in all of these companies that are increasing their dividend. And they've been doing pretty good. I mean, in the last year, they've gone from 35 to 40, and you are getting, you're getting about a 3.479% dividend on that. But I do like this. I do like this one. It is a nice little dividend for sure. Dividend ETF for sure. All right. Larry says, I don't know about you, but it seems like everyone here makes at least 12 to 15% a year here. Maybe. I don't know. Cowboy, if I sell in 26, will my taxes be charged for growth in 25? No. If you sell in 26, so any tax complications, whether it be a capital gain, a capital loss, those will be on your 26 taxes, which you do in 27. So yeah, I wouldn't be concerned about it. So yeah, once the year changes, it's a whole new board. Let's see, Dorpat, I am looking for somewhere to park cash safely. ZMMK is quite low these days. Does anyone know any short-term treasury or money market funds still over 3%? Yeah, a lot of them have come down. A lot of them are in the 2%. Like even right now, like I'm currently sitting in Tcash. And what are they at right now? TCSH. All right, let's pull up Tcash. Well, they are sitting at 3.217%, but that's based on the last 12 months. So I always take that with a grain of salt. I like to go in and actually look. And if we go in and take a look here, so yeah, the last time it was 11. So 11, 13, 12, 8, 14, 12, 10, 15, 13. So yeah, just looking, eyeballing these numbers, it's probably closer to 3% or maybe 2.9, somewhere's in that vicinity, just from eyeing the payments that they've come out with. There's definitely a few of them. I'm going to do, I'll actually do a video soon on one of those cash ETFs. I haven't done one in a while, so I'm looking to do one soon. Let's see. Scott says, I asked about bond because MIDB. All right, let's look at MIDB. All right, so this here is the Evolve Enhanced Yield Midterm Bond. Oh boy. Another fund that I have no interest in, but yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's the same story though. I mean, even though it may look worse, it's kind of still the same story. But keep in mind, bonds tend to have that inverse relationship to, well, technically to interest rates. So this is kind of normal, I think, for bonds. But I need to see, and this is the one thing we don't have with these funds. I don't know how they're going to behave in a bear market. So I'd like to see that. But right now, I'm not a huge fan of bonds. Not anymore. Bonds they used to be a regular part. Fixed income used to be a pretty important part of most portfolios. But I feel fixed income has taken a very much of a backseat nowadays. I still have some through like cash ETFs, but I'm just not. I'm not a huge fan on these bonds, and I know some of you are, and that's okay. You can be. I'm not a big fan. Doorpat, space and quantum stocks are up today. Ooh, you know what? I haven't looked at BlackBerry today. Maybe they're up. That would be nice. Yeah, look at this. BlackBerry's up 4.63%. But then again, keep in mind they did have this little fall, so that's not that impressive. But nonetheless, BlackBerry is one that I do like. Larry says, I remember in like 2021, 2022, Rocket Lab was 12 to 14 bucks. Oh, well, there we go. What's the space company Brookfield owns that Canadian government just donated to European space? Not sure. I'm not sure. Let's see. Paul says Waymo Robotaxi has issues with the San Francisco power outage. All the cars stopped and would not move, blocking lanes and intersections. Tesla Robotaxi treated signal lights out as a four-way stop. Oh, interesting. You see, and this is kind of real-world testing. Like, how will robo-taxis respond in these type of disaster-type situations? So it's kind of a good thing that this. I don't want to say it's a good thing that they had a big power outage in San Francisco, but some of the data that they'll collect from this will certainly, hopefully, Tesla will use it to make these cars better, to make these robo-taxis better. Yeah. Let's see. After watching Total Recall, no way would I get a robot car. Let's see. Would you consider Biggie a better registered holding because of its U.S. content? I mean, I do like Biggie, but at the same time, Biggie, this is kind of the thing. Biggie is like looking at Biggie versus Canny. So obviously, Biggie is investing in stocks that have a lot more volatility because there is more volatility on the U.S. market. So as a result, you're going to get bigger premiums, so you can have a much bigger piece of income. So if income is the focus, Biggie tends to be a much more attractive than Canny. But at the same time, I think Canny is pretty stable. I like the Canadian market. We may not have as many big volatile players as the U.S., but the Canadian market has been kicking butt for sure. But yeah, if you're looking though for if the income is the important part, then Biggie is probably the choice you'll make. All right, Luke says, hi Candace, what are your thoughts on Canadian pipelines? Pembina and Enbridge are both sitting in buy territory. I hold some of both. Could average down with a purchase now. Okay, I do like our pipeline stock, so I like Pembina. I like Enbridge. I also, and I'll show you my play, PPLN, the Global X Equal Weight Canadian Pipelines Index. So, it is an ETF. I'll pull it up here. It's pipelines it's kind of holding steady. It hasn't made a lot of ground in the last year. In fact, you could actually say, like, a year ago, it was at 1159. So technically, it's down a tiny bit. But I do like this index. I do like pipelines. I do think that when we finally get some movement pipeline-wise, this is a ETF that might very well benefit. Now they do hold both Enbridge and Pembina, but yeah, I mean I can see if you look at the individuals like PPL, for example. Let's pull them up, and if we look at them for the last year, you can kind of see we're in the exact same boat as the ETF. So that's one of the reasons that I'm not super upset with that ETF. So Pembina in the last year, they've gone from they opened at 52.69. They're now 50.99. So it's a sector that hasn't done a lot in the last year, but I do think better days are ahead. Roku Roku says, when I started ETFs, I subscribed to the 3-fund coach potato plan, and a 20% was bonds zag. Worst decision I ever made, and held it too long. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that strategy at all, of course. Let's see, I was trying to post about a Canada aristocrat list, but keep getting blocked. Tried removing anything that might indicate a link. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, like normally if you spell out the dot as DOT instead of putting a period, normally that will get you through. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it's blocking you. Oh boy. That I don't know. Let's see. Trump just halted a lot of offshore wind projects. Yeah, he's trying to, what is it? Is it the whales or who? I don't know who it is. Or is it the birds? I don't know. Trump has his big thing out for windmills, so I can see him doing that. Let's see. Going after more Sobo, they own what's left of the pipeline Biden canceled. So Keystone, okay, yeah, they do. Trump generates a lot of wind. Yes, when he's talking, okay, all the time for sure. Yeah, is it the birds? Okay, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it kills the birds. It causes cancer. It just keeps going round and round. I don't know. Yep, centripetal force. I don't know. Trump is Trump. What can we say? And it eats the dogs. Yeah, it eats the dogs and the cats. The windmills, they're eating the dogs and the cats. Maybe catfish and dogfish and catfish. There we go. Oh boy. Yeah, Trump is he's interesting. Well, I'm just hoping he just stays calm for the rest of this year so we can have a nice end of holidays. We can deal with him, and we'll deal with him in 2026. All right, guys, we have hit an hour and a half. We will be back again here tomorrow. We're going to do this all over again, of course. And remember, on Wednesday, we got an early show, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And we'll also be here on Friday. Not Wednesday. Sorry, Thursday. We'll be here on Thursday. Thursday, we will be here for the Christmas Day show. No show on Friday. Friday, everything's closed. Everything's closed. The TSX is closed on Friday. I'm not sure about the S&P 500, though. I didn't actually look. But yeah, there's so no market on Friday. We'll be back after that. We will actually on Wednesday we will open up the Financial Express for the following Monday. So we'll figure it out. I might even open that up. You know what? I might even open that up let's open that up tomorrow. We'll open that up tomorrow for the Monday. Anyway, we'll figure it out. All right, guys. It's time. It's time to go have some supper. It is time to say goodbye. Once again, thank you for coming. This has been another fantastic stream. We will see you guys tomorrow. Same time. Same Financial Express time. Same Financial Express channel. There we go. Whoops. I got to be big. I got to be big to say goodbye. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.